Let's talk about navigating the communication needs of a dismissive avoidant partner and an anxiously attached partner within the dynamic of a relationship or a marriage. By the way, if you want a one-on-one, it's linked to my bio. Digital products are also being launched this weekend. I've been working on those for a few days. But links in the bio for a one-on-one if you guys need help with your stuff. So I've had a lot of conversations lately with the dismissive, avoidant, and anxious partners in the relationship dynamics, and it's always the same thing. The DA gets to a place where they're like, hi, I need to shut down and leave the conversation, and the anxious tries to over-pursue to try and get a conclusion, really. There's a wide range of emotional intelligence and awareness in these conversations that I'm noticing. And on the high end, it's the DA that's like, hey, I need to shut down because I'm not being respectful, and this isn't good. We can bring it back up later. And then where they're failing on the back end is when they are, in fact, ready to bring it up later, they say something like, well, the atmosphere of the home is really bad and it just seems unwise, or, whatever. It doesn't feel like a safe time to bring it up. And I want to offer you this encouragement, but to the DA, right? The reason it doesn't feel safe to bring up is because the other person is experiencing a trigger, fear of abandonment or inadequacy, and it's manifesting in their body language, which to you is intimidating. It doesn't feel like a safe space to bring it back up, both for you or for them. But the truth is actually the only way it can become a safe place is if you start to teach them through your actions that when you say you're going to bring it back up later, you will in fact bring it up later. That creates the sense of security that they're not being abandoned, because the reason they over-attach on at the beginning of an argument or whatever to try and get a conclusion out of you is because their triggered response in the moment is, oh my God, I'm about to be abandoned, or my feelings don't matter. And when you say, hey, let's bring it up later, and then you don't, you are actually teaching them their feelings don't matter. And so the perfect scenario for the DA and the anxious to navigate conflict would be the DA saying, hi, I'm feeling overwhelmed and like I need to shut down. I'm not going to be very productive in this conversation after this point in time. So I would like to table this, and I promise I'll bring it back up later. And the anxious can say, yes, okay, I agree with that. When do you feel like you would be able to bring it back up? And then the DA would say, well, when do you need me to bring it back up by? And because the anxious is the one that needs to have it brought back up. And then the anxious goes, I need it brought back up by, 12 hours, within 12 hours. Okay, all right. The DA goes, okay, I give you my word, I'll bring it back up within 12 hours. And then both of you look at each other and go, oh, by the way, it's us against this problem, not us against each other. And I recognize our nervous systems are fighting each other because we think the other person is trying to hurt us. So I just want to let you know, I love you, I'm not going anywhere. And despite the fact that we're still figuring this out, I know my nervous system is lying to me. So here, give me a hug, and I'll bring it back up within 12 hours, okay? And then you, the person who left the conversation, you have an obligation to bring it back up. It's your responsibility. You walked away, you bring it back. Anyway, that's just what I'm seeing a lot of, but I hope that helps just on that. That's just a simple communication cue change. And I know the anxious people are going to be like, oh my God, a DA would never say this. This is for the DAs doing the work, okay? The DA's not doing the work are a whole different problem. This is for the DAs doing the work, okay? If you want a one-on-one, link to my bio. I'm releasing a digital copy of my book that you'll see in my bio soon, as well as new booking links. And then I'm going to have I've been working on a workbook for the anxious and the avoidant attachment styles, both in recognizing who you are, that I'm probably going to make free, like identifying which one you are. And then I've got some workbooks to work through those traumas that I'll probably charge a little bit of money for, because those are a little harder to create. But anyway, you'll see those in the bios. If you want a one-on-one, click the link in my bio. But love you guys. Hope that helps.